The cemetery was supposed to be empty at that hour, just wind, fallen leaves, and the silence of names carved in stone. But when the Mafia boss, Dario Moretti, stepped toward his daughter's grave, he heard something he had never expected to hear again in that place, a child, quietly sobbing. He stopped. No bodyguards, no nose, just a tiny girl, kneeling in front of the tombstone that belonged to his daughter. Her small shoulders trembled, her fingers traced the engraved name as if she'd known it her whole life. Dario's breath caught in his throat. No one visited this grave but him. He approached slowly, boots crushing the gravel. "Little one, why are you here?" he asked. The girl flinched, wiping her tears, but didn't he run? Instead, she held out a wrinkled, dirt-smudged letter. "This is for her," she whispered. "She promised she'd read it, but she never came back." Dario froze. His daughter hadn't told him anything. Not about a letter, not about a little girl, not about a promise. His heart began to pound as the girl lifted her eyes, the same shade his daughter once had, and said 6 words that shattered the world of a man no one believed could break. "She was my real mom, too." Dario staggered back. The cemetery spun the truth he had buried with his daughter was clawing its way to the surface, and nothing in his empire, nothing in his past could have prepared him for what came next. "Stay with me until the end, because what this little girl reveals will shatter everything the Mafia boss thought he knew about his own family." Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and comment where you re-watching from. Now let us get started. The rain had been falling for 3 days straight when Dario Moretti finally decided to visit Isabella's grave. 3 months had passed since the funeral, 3 months since he buried his only daughter, his only reason for living. The dawn of the most powerful crime family in the city. Hadn't he cried at the funeral? He stood stone-faced while hundreds of mourners filed past the casket. Business associates, politicians, judges, everyone who owed him favors, everyone who feared him, but none of them knew Isabella the way he did. None of them knew she collected stray cats in the garden behind their mansion. None of them knew she painted watercolor flowers every Sunday morning. None of them knew she dreamed of becoming a teacher, now walking through the wrought iron gates of St. Mary's Cemetery. Dario felt the weight of every decision he ever made, the weight of every enemy he eliminated, the weight of every deal sealed in blood. His Italian leather shoes sank into the muddy path as he made his way toward the mausoleum where Isabella rested, the Moretti family tomb. Marble angels with their wings spread wide as if protecting the dead from the sins of the living. That as when he heard it, the soft sound of crying, Dario's hand instinctively moved to the gun beneath his coat. His world, unexpected sounds meant danger. But as he rounded the corner of the mausoleum, he saw something that made him freeze completely. A little girl no more than 7 years old. She wore a tattered pink dress that had seen better days and shoes with holes that let the rain seep through. Her dark hair hung in wet tangles around her face. She was kneeling in front of Isabella's grave, her small hands pressed against the cold marble. Dario watched from the shadows, his heart hammering against his ribs. Who was this child? How had she gotten past the cemetery's security? Why was she here? The girl spoke to the headstone as if Isabella could hear her. "I am sorry I am late," she whispered. The lady at the shelter said I couldn't leave, but I snuck out. I had to bring you this." She pulled something from her pocket, a folded piece of paper, carefully protected in a plastic bag. "I wrote you another letter," she continued, her voice breaking. "I wrote about how the kids at the new place are mean to me, about how I miss our talks, about how I wish you could come back and take me home with you." Dio's legs nearly gave out. "Take me home with you." The words echoed in his mind like gunshots. Isabella had never mentioned a child, never spoken about visiting shelters or making promises to anyone. His daughter told him everything, didn't she? The girl pressed the letter against the headstone and began to cry harder. "You said you'd always be there for me. You said I was special. You said you'd never leave me alone." Something twisted in Dario's chest, a pain sharper than any bullet wound he'd ever survived. This child was mourning his daughter with the same raw grief he felt. But how? Why? He stepped forward, his shoes crunching on the wet gravel. The sound made the girl jump, but she didn't run. She just stared at him with eyes that were impossibly familiar. "Little one," Dario said softly, crouching down to her level. "Why are you here?" The girl studied his face with a wisdom far beyond her years. "You look like her," she said quietly. "Isabella showed me pictures. You re her daddy." The words hit him like a physical blow. "You knew my daughter?" The girl nodded, fresh tears streaming down her cheeks. "She visited me every week at the children's home. She brought me books and candy. She taught me how to braid my hair." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "She said she was working on something special, something that would change everything." Dario's mind raced. Isabella had been secretive in the months before the accident, coming home late, making hushed phone calls, spending time away from the house without explanation. He assumed she was dating someone, some boy from her university. But this was something else entirely. "What is your name?" he asked gently. "Sophia," the girl replied. "Sophia Rosie." But Isabella said, "I could use her name if I wanted." She said we were going to be a real family. The world tilted sideways. Dario gripped the edge of the headstone to steady himself. A real family, the words burned in his throat. "Sophia," he said carefully, "what did Isabella tell you about your parents?" The girl's face crumpled. "She said my mama died when I was a baby. She said my papa didn't want me. She said that's why I lived at the home with all the other kids nobody wanted." Dario felt something breaking inside his chest, something he thought was already destroyed when Isabella died. "But she wanted you." Sophia nodded eagerly. "She said she was going to adopt me. She said she already talked to the lawyers and the judges. She said in a few more weeks I could come live with her in the big house with the garden." The revelation hit him like lightning. Isabella had been planning to adopt this child, his daughter, who never even mentioned wanting children of her own, had been secretly building out family, and he'd known nothing about it. "Sophia," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "when did you last see Isabella?" "The day before she went to heaven," Sophia replied, using the gentle euphemism Isabella must have taught her. "She came to say goodbye. She said she had to go on a trip, but when she came back, everything would be different. Everything would be better." Dario's hands clenched into fists. The day before the accident, Isabella had been on her way to finalize the adoption papers when the drunk driver ran the red Light, she'd been coming back to tell him about Sophia, coming back to introduce him to his granddaughter, but she never made it home. Sophia, Daria whispered, his voice cracking like old leather. Did Isabella ever mention me to you? The little girl tilted her head, considering the question with heartbreaking seriousness. She said her papa was a very important man. She said he had a big heart, but that he forgot how to show it sometimes. A sob escaped Dario's throat before he could stop it. Those were Isabella's words, her gentle way of explaining why he'd become so distant after her mother died, why he'd buried himself in business and violence instead of bedtime stories and Sunday morning pancakes. She said you were sad. Sophia continued, reaching out to touch his hand with her tiny fingers. She said, losing people makes some hearts close up like flowers at night, but she was going to help you remember how to bloom again. The rain was falling harder now, soaking through Dario's expensive coat, but didn't he notice he was staring at this child who spoke about his daughter like she'd been studying him for years, like Isabella had been preparing her to understand him. Sophia, where do you live now? He asked, though he dreaded the answer. Her face fell back at St. Catherine's home. The social worker said the adoption couldn't happen anymore because Isabella went to heaven. She said, I have to wait for another family to want me. The words hit him like bullets. This child, this piece of his daughter's heart, was sitting in some sterile institution. He'd been drowning in whiskey and rage. Isabella had died trying to save her, trying to give her the family she deserved. The other kids say I am cursed, Sophia whispered, her voice so small he had to lean closer to hear. They say that's why my mama died and why Isabella died too. They say everyone who loves me goes away. Something primal and protective roared to life in Dario's chest, that same feeling he had when Isabella was born, when he first held her in his arms and promised he'd never let anything hurt her. He failed Isabella, but he wouldn't fail Sophia. Listen to me, he said, cupping the child's face in his weathered hands. You are not cursed, you are loved. Isabella loved you so much she was changing her whole life for you. Sophia's eyes widened, but she has gone now, and you don't even know me. I know you loved my daughter, Dario said firmly. I know you brought her letters and visited her grave in the rain. I know she trusted you with her heart. That's enough for me to know you exactly where you belong. What do you mean? Dario stood up, his decision crystallizing with the clarity of lightning. I mean you coming home with me today, right now. Sophia blinked in confusion. But you can just take me. There are rules and papers and social workers. A ghost of his old smile crossed Dario's face. Little one, I've been bending rules my entire life, some for terrible reasons. Today I am going to break them for the most important reason of all. He pulled out his phone and dialed the number he hadn't used in months. His lawyer, Vincent Caruso, answered on the second ring. Dario, what's wrong? It's Sunday. You never call on Sunday. Vincent, I need you to meet me at St. Catherine's Children's Home in 1 hour. Bring every adoption form you have. Bring emergency custody papers. Bring whatever it takes to get a 7-year-old girl out of the system today. Silence on the other end. Then Dario, what's going on? You can just decide to adopt a child on a whim. It is not a Whim, Dario said, watching Sophia's face light up with hope. It is what Isabella wanted. It is what she died trying to do, and I'm going to finish it. This is insane. The background checks alone will take weeks. Your history, your associates, the FBI investigation last year, they lines never approve you as a guardian. Dario's voice turned cold as winter. Vincent, I own 3 judges in family court. I have files on every social worker in the city. I donate more money to children's charities in a year than most people see in a lifetime. Make it happen. Dario, please think about this. A child changes everything. Your lifestyle, your business, your security concerns. My daughter changed everything the day she was born. Dio interrupted. This child was going to be her daughter. That makes her my granddaughter. Family is family. Vincent, you know this. He hung up and knelt back down to Sophia's level. Pack whatever you have at the home, little one. You coming to stay with me? Sophia's eyes filled with tears, but this time they weren't tears of sadness. Really, you really want me, Isabella? Wanted you, Dario said simply. That means I want you too. We're going to take care of each other now. Sophia threw her arms around his neck, and Dario felt something he hadn't felt in months. Purpose, hope, a reason to be better than the man he'd become. But as they stood to leave the cemetery, Dario's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. So you at the cemetery today, Moretti? Interesting company you keeping. That little girl could be very valuable to the right people or very dangerous to the wrong ones. We should talk. Dario's blood turned to ice. Someone had been watching. Someone knew about Sophia, and in his world that meant she was already in danger. He looked down at the child, who was holding his hand with complete trust, her face radiant with joy. For the first time since Isabella's death, she had no idea that by accepting his protection, she'd just step into the crosshairs of every enemy he'd ever made. But Dario Moretti hadn't survived 30 years at the top of the food chain by backing down from threats. He'd survived by being more ruthless than anyone who dared to challenge him. And now he had something worth being ruthless for. Again, ruthless for again. The drive to St. Catherine's Children's Home felt like the longest 30 minutes of Dario's life. Sophia sat in the back seat of his black Mercedes, her small hands pressed against the window as she watched the city blur past. She hadn't said much since they left the cemetery, but Dario could see her stealing glances at him in the rear view mirror. His phone hadn't stopped buzzing. Vincent calling back, probably having second thoughts about the legal nightmare they were about to unleash. His Lieutenant Marco texting about a shipment that needed his attention. The mysterious number that had threatened Sophia, sending more messages, but Dario ignored them all. For the first time in 3 months, something mattered more than business. Mr. Moretti. Sophia's voice was barely audible over the engine. You can call me Dario, little one. Dario, she repeated carefully, like she was testing how it felt on her tongue. What if they want to let me leave? What if the people at the home say no? Dario's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He'd been asking himself the same question. In his world, problems were solved with money, influence, or force. But this was different territory. Social workers, government bureaucracy, child welfare laws, systems designed to protect children from men exactly like him. The lines say yes, he told her, trying to sound more confident than he felt. Sometimes adults make things complicated when they should be simple. You need a family, I need you. Isabella wanted us together, that's all that matters. Sophia nodded, but he could see the worrying in her eyes. This child had been disappointed before. Promises had been broken. Hope had been shattered. They pulled up to St. Catherine's home, a gray brick building that looked more like a prison than a place where children lived. The windows were barred, the playground empty except for a few broken swings that move in the wind. Like ghosts, Vincent's BMW was already parked outside along with 2 other cars. Dario recognized his people. Good, he did need all the leverage he could get. Stay close to me, Dario told Sophia as they walked toward the entrance. No matter what anyone says, you stay right beside me. The lobby smelled like disinfectant and despair. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting everything in a sickly green glow. A receptionist looked up from her desk, her expression shifting from bored to alarmed when she recognized Dario. Mr. Moretti, she stammered. We weren't expecting you. How can we help you? I am here about Sophia Rossi, Dario said simply. I am taking her home. The receptionist's eyes darted to Sophia, then back to Dario. I am sorry, sir, but we don't have any scheduled visits today, and Sophia isn't cleared for unsupervised contact with anyone outside our approved list. Dario felt his patience beginning to fray. In his world, people didn't tell him what he couldn't do, but he forced himself to remain calm. Louis' temper wouldn't help Sophia. Then get me someone who can change that, he said quietly. Now the receptionist picked up her phone with shaking hands. Within minutes, a stern-looking woman in her 50s appeared. Her badge identified her as Margaret Walsh, director. Mr. Moretti, she sighed, her voice crisp and professional. I am afraid there has been some misunderstanding. You can simply show up and demand to take one of our children. There is no misunderstanding, Dario replied. My daughter was in the process of adopting Sophia when she died. I am here to complete what she started. Margaret's eyebrows rose. Mr. Moretti, I am familiar with your daughter's case. The adoption proceedings were terminated upon her death. Sophia has been returned to state custody pending new placement. Then place her with me. It doesn't work that way. There are procedures, background checks, home studies, psychological evaluations. The process takes months, sometimes years. Dario felt Sophia's hand slip into his small hand, trusting. The child was trembling slightly, probably remembering other times when adults had discussed her future, like she wasn't standing right there. How long has Sophia been in the system? Dario asked. Since she was an infant. Nearly 7 years. 7 years of procedures and evaluations, and no family to show for it, Dario said, his voice hardening. How many potential parents has she met? How many times has she been disappointed? Margaret's expression softened slightly, but her resolve remained firm. Mr. Moretti, I understand you grieving. Losing a child is the most difficult thing any parent can face, but you can fill that void by taking someone else's child. She has not. Someone else's child, Dario snapped, his control finally slipping. She was going to be Isabella's daughter. That makes her my granddaughter. Blood doesn't make family. Love does, and Isabella loved this little girl enough to die trying to save her. The words hung in the air like smoke from a gunshot. Margaret studied Dario's face, searching for something she could trust. Even if I wanted to help you, she said, finally, I don't have the authority. Emergency custody requires court approval, multiple signatures, proof of immediate danger to the child, immediate danger. Dario's phone buzzed again with another threatening message. His jaw clenched as he read it. The little girl looked scared. Moretti, children get hurt so easily when they are caught between powerful men, especially pretty little girls with no one to protect them. White-hot rage flooded through Dario's veins. Someone was watching them right now. Someone was threatening Sophia while she stood in what should have been a safe place. He looked down at the child beside him, her dark eyes wide with confusion and fear. She'd already lost everyone she'd ever loved. She'd already been abandoned, forgotten, shuffled through a system that saw her as a case number instead of a human being. Mrs. Walsh, Dario said, his voice deadly calm. You said emergency custody requires proof of immediate danger. Yes, but Dario held up his phone, showing her the threatening messages. Someone followed us here. Someone is watching this building right now, making threats against a 7-year-old child. How is that for immediate danger? Margaret's face went pale as she read the messages. These are death threats, they re-promises, Dario corrected. In my world, when someone makes promises like this, they keep them. We should call the police. The police can protect her, not from the kind of people who sent these messages. But I can. Margaret looked at Sophia, who was pressing closer to Dario's side with each passing moment. The child sensed the danger, even if she didn't understand it. This is insane, Margaret whispered. I could lose my job. The state could shut us down. And if Sophia gets hurt because you followed procedure instead of protecting her, how will you sleep at night? Dario asked quietly. Vincent appeared at Dario's elbow, briefcase in hand and sweat beading on his forehead. I've got emergency custody papers ready for signature, he said breathlessly. Judge Morrison is standing by for approval. We can have this done in 20 minutes if everyone cooperates. Margaret stared at the papers like they were written in a foreign language. This is highly irregular. Irregular times call for irregular measures, Dario said. Sophia, what do you want to do? The little girl looked up at him with those impossibly wise eyes. I want to go home with you, she said simply. Isabella said, home is where people love you no matter what. Margaret's resolve crumbled. She signed the papers with shaking hands, her maternal instincts overriding her bureaucratic training. Sometimes protecting a child meant breaking the rules. You lines need to check in weekly, she told Dario. Social services will want updates. There will be follow-up visits, whatever it takes. Dario agreed. As they prepared to leave, Margaret knelt down to Sophia's level. Are you sure about this, sweetheart? It is okay to be scared. It is okay to change your mind. Sophia shook her head. Isabella told me that sometimes angels send us exactly what we need, even when we were not expecting it. I think she sent me Dario. Margaret's eyes filled with tears. In 7 years, she'd never seen Sophia trust anyone the way she trusted this dangerous man. Maybe sometimes angels did work in mysterious ways. They walked toward the exit. Sophia's small suitcase in Vincent's hand and her tiny fingers wrapped around Dario's. But as they reached the door, Dario's phone rang, the same unknown number that had been threatening them. "Answer it," Vincent whispered urgently. "We need to know who we're dealing with." Dario hit accept and put the phone on speaker, his free hand moving protectively to Sophia's shoulder. "Moretti," the voice was distorted, electronic. "You just made a very expensive mistake." "Who's this?" Dio demanded. "Someone who knows the value of leverage. That little girl you just adopted. She is worth more than you think. Her mother didn't die in some random accident. She was eliminated because she found out about our operation." Dario's blood turned to ice. "What operation?" "The same operation your daughter stumbled into. The same operation that got her killed. Sophia's mother was one of our girls, Moretti, premium merchandise, and when she tried to run with the kid, we had to make an example. The pieces were falling into place with horrifying clarity. Sophia's mother hadn't died of natural causes. She'd been murdered, and Isabella had somehow discovered the truth. "What do you want?" Dario asked, his voice barely controlled. "We want what belongs to us." The girl knows things. Faces, names, locations. Her mother talked too much before we silenced her. The kid heard everything. Dario looked down at Sophia, who was staring at the phone with terror in her eyes. She understood more than she'd let on. She'd been carrying these secrets, these nightmares, for years. "You lines never touch her," Dario said quietly. "We already are touching her, Moretti. Right now." "Look outside." Dario's head snapped toward the window across the street. A black van was parked in the shadows. Even from this distance, he could see the barrel of a rifle glinting in the afternoon sun. "One phone call and she is dead before you reach your car, but we don't want her dead. We want her quiet, permanent quiet." "What is the offer?" "And bring her to Pier 47 tonight at midnight, alone. We lines take her off your hands and you can go back to your normal business. Everyone wins except Sophia. Sophia was never supposed to exist. Her mother should have terminated the pregnancy, like we told her to. Instead, she kept the brat and filled her head with information that could destroy us." Dario's hand was shaking with rage. These animals had murdered a pregnant woman's lover, terrorized a child for 7 years, and killed his daughter for trying to protect her. "I need time to think," he said. "You have 6 hours, midnight, Pier 47. Come alone or she dies with you." The line went dead. Vincent was already on his phone, calling for backup, arranging safe houses, mobilizing every resource they had, but Dario knew it wouldn't be enough. These people had been planning this for years. They had Sophia's entire life mapped out, her every move anticipated. "What do we do?" Margaret whispered, her face white with fear. Dario looked down at Sophia, who was holding his hand so tightly her knuckles were white. This brave little girl who'd survived 7 years of hell, who'd loved his daughter like a mother, who'd trusted him with her life. "We disappear," he said finally. "All of us tonight, because sometimes the only way to win a war was to change the battlefield entirely." And Dario Moretti was about to discover just how far a grandfather would go to protect his granddaughter. The real battle was just beginning. The safe house was a fortress disguised as a suburban home. High walls, reinforced windows, and enough security cameras to monitor a small army. Dario had bought it years ago under a false name, never imagining he'd use it to protect a 7-year-old girl from the same monsters who destroyed his world. Sophia sat on the leather couch, her small suitcase beside her, clutching a worn, stuffed rabbit she'd pulled from her belongings. She hadn't spoken since they'd arrived 3 hours ago, just stared at the walls with those haunting eyes that had seen too much. Vincent paced the living room, his phone pressed to his ear as he coordinated with their security team. Marco and 3 other men patrolled the perimeter, their weapons visible beneath their jackets. The house felt like a war room preparing for battle, but Dario knew they were fighting ghosts, an enemy. Without a name, without a face, without rules. Sophia, he said gently, sitting across from her, I need you to tell me about your mother. The child's grip tightened on her stuffed rabbit. Mama said never to talk about the bad men. The bad men can't hurt you anymore. I promise. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. That's what Mama said too. Right before they took her away, Dario felt his chest constrict. This child had watched her mother die, had been carrying that trauma for 7 years, while the system shuffled her from home to home, never knowing she was running from killers. What do you remember about that night? Sophia closed her eyes, her small body trembling. Mama was packing our clothes. She said we were going on a trip, but I could tell she was scared. There were men outside our apartment, big men with angry voices. How many men? 3, maybe 4. Mama hid me in the closet and told me not to come out. No matter what I heard. Sophia's voice dropped to a whisper, but I could see through the crack in the door. Dario's hands clenched into fists. What did you see? They heard her. They asked her questions about names, 10 places, and money. Mama kept saying she didn't know anything, but they didn't believe her. Sophia wiped her nose with her sleeve. Then one of them said she was a liability. I didn't know what that word meant then. Do you remember their faces? Sophia nodded slowly. The scary man had a scar on his neck like a snake, and he wore a ring with a red stone. Vincent stopped pacing, his attention locked on Sophia's words. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through photos. Sophia, Vincent said carefully, I am going to show you some pictures. If you see anyone you recognize, just point. You don't have to say anything. He held up his phone, displaying a police database of known criminals. Sophia studied each face with the intensity of someone who'd learned to memorize danger. Then she stopped, her finger trembling as she pointed at the screen. At SM, the one with the snake scar. Vincent's face went pale. Jesus Christ, that's Nikolai cough. Dio felt ice water flood his veins. Koff was a ghost story in their world, a Russian operative who specialized in human trafficking and elimination. If he was involved, this wasn't just about Sophia. This was about something much bigger. Vincent, get me everything we have on Koff. Financial records, known associates, safe houses, everything. Dario, if Koff is behind this, we're not just talking about child trafficking. We're talking about an international operation with government protection. I don't care if he is protected by the Pope himself. Dario snarled. He killed Sophia's mother. He killed my daughter. And now he wants to silence a 7-year-old girl. Sophia looked up at him with those wise, haunted eyes. Isabella found out about the bad men. didn't he? Dario nodded, his throat tight with emotion. She was trying to protect you, just like your mother did, and now they want to hurt me. Because I know their secrets. What secrets, little one? Sophia took a shaky breath and pulled out a small notebook. From her jacket pocket, the pages were filled with a child's careful handwriting, but the words made Dario's blood run cold. Mama wrote down everything before they came for her, Sophia whispered. Names, dates, places, where they kept the other girls. She made me memorize it all in case something happened to her. She opened the notebook, revealing page after page of damning evidence, bank account numbers, shipping schedules, photographs of men in expensive suits shaking hands with known criminals. Isabella had died trying to expose this network, and now Sophia held the key to bringing it all down. Isabella was going to give this to the police, Sophia continued, but she said we had to be careful because some of the bad men wear police uniforms too. Dario stared at the notebook and Sophia's small hands. His daughter had Auntie just been adopting a child? She'd been building a case that could topple an empire built on human suffering, and she'd died protecting the one witness who could make it all stick. Vincent leaned over Dario's shoulder, his eyes widening as he scanned the pages. This is enough to bring down half the eastern seaboard. Politicians, judges, police, commissioners, everyone is in here, which is why the lions never stop hunting her, Dario said grimly. As long as Sophia's alive, their entire operation is at risk. But as he looked at this brave little girl who'd survived 7 years of hell and still found the courage to trust him, Dario felt something he hadn't experienced since Isabella's death. Not just rage or grief, but purpose. Clara, burning purpose. He knelt down in front of Sophia and took her small hands in his weathered ones. Sophia, I am going to make you a promise, the same promise Isabella made. I am going to keep you safe, and I am going to make sure the bad men never hurt anyone else again. Sophia searched his eyes for any trace of the lies adults had told her before, but all she found was the fierce determination of a man who finally found something worth fighting for. How? She asked simply. Dario smiled, and for the first time in months, it reached his eyes, because sometimes the only way to protect your family is to destroy the monsters who threaten them. And little one, your family now. The war for Sophia's life was just beginning, but Dario Moretti had spent 30 years learning how to win wars, and now he had the most powerful weapon of all, a grandfather's love for the child his daughter died trying to save. The cemetery where this story began had been filled with the silence of the dead, but sometimes the dead leave behind something more powerful than silence. They leave behind truth, love, and the unbreakable bond between those who choose to call each other family. And that is exactly what happened when a Mafia boss found a little girl crying at his daughter's grave and discovered that sometimes the most broken hearts are the ones capable of the greatest love.